What is up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Franca and I'm glad you're here. Today we're hopefully getting a little bit closer to finishing the Blake Lively Justin Baldoni saga. So we're starting off with Blake Brown promotional. Blake has photos of her in her hair care line saying, "Girls Night Out, it ends with us movie. Fashion brought to you by the incredible young New York City based designer, whatever." And then also Blake Brown. "Ever since I was a kid, through adolescence, early adulthood, motherhood, work, personal life, whenever, wherever, the single, something." And just photos of like her hair and florals and stuff pretty much. Lively also sprinkled in cross promotions with her alcohol brand, Betty Booze, which was a massive error in judgment. Social media commenters quickly pointed out that this tie-in was in particularly poor taste, given that the World Health Organization estimates that 55% of DV incidents are linked to alcohol. And then we have Blake posting for "It Ends With Us" in a floral outfit with flowers and calling her little flower shop Betty Blooms. And in her caption she said, "I've got a dream when your company throws a florist themed party for your movie." Wayfarer spotted the issue and called for a course correction long before Lively apparently realized the magnitude of her miscalculation. Wayfair CEO Heath responded to the organic online criticism by noting that many people are pointing out that the DV is being glossed over and that Justin is essentially the only one appreciating the subject matter, whilst others may not be giving it the proper respect it deserves. As you know, this has always been a concern of ours. So then we have a message on August 9th, 2024 from Jamie to Sony. "Hey all, so we all see the noise and chatter regarding Justin and Blake in cast. This is all crazy, but I'd like for us to take a look at that even in the midst of the feuding, how many people are pointing out that the DV is being glossed over and that Justin is essentially the only one appreciating the subject matter whilst others may not be giving it the proper respect it deserves. As you know, it has always been a concern of ours, and I think we might agree that there is enough response to at least consider giving it a bit more thought. We are opening with great numbers, and that is a testament to the movie itself and also the way you've positioned it, no doubt, and we should listen to the responses and really embrace what we are hearing. It won't hurt the movie being more deliberate in embracing the DV aspect. People need to know that we too recognize the gravity and sensitivities of this subject." And that's crazy. That's crazy because that's the day the movie released. Everyone was so pissed about the promotions. And like that's way in advance. Wayfair's vice president of marketing and communications shared a post exemplifying the issue, which included the tagline, "Grab your friends, wear your florals," that soon became viral for all the wrong reasons, which it literally did. So, to Jamie, sharing this post that's using the exact language that has been called out for inappropriately marketing the film. And then we have Blake, "Grab your friends, wear your florals," which is like the tagline they've been using which is like literally the tagline Blake has been using to promote this film the whole entire time. Heath and others at Wayfair advised listening and responding to the wave of online criticism that had met the bubbly, sunny messages that Lively herself embraced so wholeheartedly. Though Lively now claims that Heath, Baldoni, and others at Wayfair sabotaged her by planting AstroTurf media criticisms of Lively, it seems that she had listened to and respected plaintiffs' perspective and insight on the unique sensitivities of marketing the film, rather than seizing the helm and then driving the ship aground. Everything would still be coming up roses for her. Most importantly, had she allowed Baldoni to take his rightful place side by side with her in the promotion of the film, Baldoni would assuredly have kept DV in the spotlight during all promotions, which would assuredly have prevented her from hurting her own image. Lively's reputational backlash was entirely her own doing. To be clear, we are not saying it's been inappropriately marketed in any way. In fact, you've all been brilliant. Thank you. Extremely honored to be partners with you. It's been fantastic. The proof is in the pudding. This post is only pointing to those who have spoken about the marketing, and while I'm not dissuaded by their commentary, it's good to take some learning from it. And that was Jamie to Sony. But once the backlash started on social media, without any effort by Lively to course correct, and entirely without any involvement or effort by Baldoni, it rapidly spread to mainstream media. And then they just have they have like at least 15 articles here of like people calling out Blake Lively. Indeed, while Baldoni sought to focus on the film's central premise, Lively lively incensed audiences with seeming flippant and thoughtless remarks, encouraging viewers to grab your friends and wear your florals. Embarrassed and enraged by this self-induced backlash, Lively now seeks to vilify Baldoni in a dubious attempt to resurrect her public image. Upon information and belief, Lively ordered her team to begin a campaign to frame herself as a martyr and pin the blame on plaintiffs. Behind the scenes, Lively's publicist, Leslie Salone, devised and executed a smear campaign of her own against Baldoni. Known for her tendency to leak sensitive stories to provoke public controversy, Salone renegated on agreement with Nathan by continuing to decimate false and defamatory stories about Baldoni and Wayfair, a process she began long before Wayfair and Baldoni ever retained Nathan. At 10:11 PST on August 8, 2024, Nathan and Salone reached an agreement whereby neither would communicate directly with a reporter prior to informing the other. Nathan states, "I'm not doing one thing without speaking to you," to which Salone responded, "Me either." So then we have a text from Melissa to Leslie. Just also, "I'm not doing one thing without speaking to you. I'm not answering one email about this situation. I've told everyone not to do one thing, plant seed, even speak to one reporter, even on background. Now I am involved. There will be no shock surprises to you." Leslie says, "Me either." Just 9 months later, Salone breached her agreement with Nathan by engaging with a reporter at the Daily Mail. The reporter asked to speak with Salone regarding problems on the set involving Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and the fallout over that, with Blake being labeled difficult and a power struggle existing. Salone, without consulting Nathan, promptly responded, that is 1,000% untrue. And further, your info is totally off. It is evident that Salone never intended to honor her agreement with Nathan. Instead, she exploited the arrangement to gain a strategic advantage in the media. Then we have the text. The Daily Mail reporter says, have to talk about some stuff that came in front of reporters regarding Blake and her new movie drama. Leslie says, on the plane, like what? Daily Mail says, well, it's a lot to text, but it's regarding problems on the set. It's regarding problems on set involving her and Justin Baldoni and the fallout over that, with Blake being labeled difficult and a power struggle existing. Leslie says that is 1,000% untrue, but I don't want to go on record. Daily Mail says never on record. Leslie says your info is totally off. Daily Mail says there's clearly something going on because it's cold from 3 reporters and none of them are me. In fact, Salone actively continued her discussions with the Daily Mail reporter, sending false information to cast Baldoni in a negative light, to divert attention from Lively's tyrannical behavior on set. Salone attempted to portray Baldoni as the antagonist, stating the whole cast doesn't like Justin, nothing to do with Blake. She doubled down, insisting, I'm telling you, she's a liar. They're panicking as the whole cast hates him. Salone also threatened the reporter, saying, the entire case, I will have to go on record. This needs to hold. And the Daily Mail reporter says, I'm just the only one not afraid to reach out to you, lol. Leslie says, you have it all wrong. Your reporters are so wrong. Daily Mail says, okay, I'm just being straight up with you because that's how I roll always. I'm coming to you because I actually like Blake and don't want Daily Mail to F with her. One of them said that Blake and Ryan have insisted on rewriting the movie, and another that she got very opinionated over directorial issues. Do you want to ring me when you land and I'll tell them that they need to hold off on anything for a few because her rep is unavailable and needs to at least get no comment? No one knows we are speaking, just that you would read emails from me and respond. Yes, please. And Leslie says, yes, please, as thus info is wrong. She didn't require script runs, nothing to do with this. She produced the film and got a cut. What the F is going on? The whole cast doesn't like Justin, nothing to do with Blake. And Daily Mail says, like I said, though, the reporting is that there were issues between her and Justin as well as others, and that Justin found it difficult to work with her. One of these reporters known is close with Steph Jones because they used to always get Tom Brady, Giselle, SHIT, and Steph reps him, I believe. I told them she is awful and not to rely on anything she says. Leslie says, I'm telling you she's the liar. They are panicking as the whole cast hates him. I promise she is lying. This will not look good for your site. The entire cast will have to go on record. Daily Mail says, can you give me anything at all on what the issue is then if it's not her and it's not him? Leslie said, no, I'm in a plane and this needs to hold. Daily Mail says, sounds good. I'd like to clear this SHIT up. At 7:59 a.m. PST on August 9, 2024, Nathan, consistent with the pair's agreement, sent a text message to Salone containing an email she received from Daily Mail reporter. Unbeknownst to Nathan, this was the same reporter with whom Sloane had been communicating the day prior. Nathan confirmed that she played no part in the story and told Sloane, "I'm going to have to speak with him, but I'm going to tell him nothing." She added, "Happy to chat to you beforehand if you'd prefer." Sloane deliberately omitted the fact that she had spoken with the reporter just 24 hours prior, stating, "Let me know how it goes." Despite their agreement, Nathan was completely unaware that Sloane had provided the reporter with information that significantly altered the narrative of the published story. Indeed, the reporter originally sought to publish a story about Blake being labeled as difficult on set. After the reporter's discussion with Sloane, however, the story changed to, "We have learned that Justin Baldoni caused issues on the set." Not only did Sloane breach her agreement with Nathan, but she planted false and defamatory information about Baldoni to distract from Lively's numerous missteps and throw Wayfarer and Baldoni on the offensive. Following the release of Lively's administrative complaint on December 20th, 2024, the same Daily Mail reporter informed Nathan that Sloane had lied to portray Baldoni as the foe. Sloane escalated the false narrative by telling the reporter that Blake was SA'd, an unsubstantial accusation that not even Blake had gone so far as to claim, designed to destroy Baldoni and his reputation. The reporter says to Melissa, "She said the whole cast hates Justin. This has nothing to do with Blake, and now she's saying that Blake was SA'd. Why won't she say anything about that then? She knows she's full of SHIT. She told me that the whole issue is that everybody hates Justin, nothing about Blake and Justin. She said it had nothing to do with Blake. BS." Sloane ruthlessly took advantage of Nathan's good faith. As a result, Nathan was forced to combat the negative press with both planted and propagated by Sloane. Ultimately, the actual smear campaign was orchestrated by Sloane at Lively's direction. Enter Stephanie Jones, Wayfair and Baldoni's embattled former publicist and a critical player in Lively's scorched earth campaign against Baldoni, Wayfair, and their teams. Jones is the founder and CEO of Jones Work, a New York-based public relationship firm that Wayfair engaged in May 2020, and that later handed publicity for Baldoni personally. For almost 4 years, the Jones Work Baldoni Wayfair account was managed by Jen Abel, Jones' right hand, who ran the Jones Work Los Angeles office. Abel developed a close and trusting relationship with Baldoni, Heath, and the rest of the Wayfair team, particularly as their strategic communications need became ever more complex due to the defendants' machinations? I don't know. Long known within public relations industries for her disarming southern twang, brass knuckle tactics, and high turnover of clients and employees, Jones has had a successful career, having founded Jones Work and represented at various times Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Jeff Bezos, Lauren Sanchez, Venus Williams, Tom Brady, and Chris Hemsworth. Until recently, however, Jones had kept her worst excesses hidden from public view. That changed in or around May 2024, when Puck reported that Sanchez and Jones Who's Jones? That changed in or around May 2024 when Puck reported that Sanchez and Johnson had dropped Jones as their publicist. While these were among the most prominent and publicly reported departures, a cascade of Jones Works clients began to cut ties with Jones, especially after word had spread that Business Insider was contacting Jones' former and current clients and employees concerning a forthcoming article about her sordid behavior. On May 8, 2024, a website called Stephanie Jones Leaks went live, along with an X.com account, a Facebook page, a Reddit account, and a Pinterest page. These platforms disclose a litany of highly disturbing allegations about Jones' behavior and business practices, many concerning Jones' mistreatment of Jones Work employees and clients. These revelations caused a firestorm in Hollywood, resulting in a surge of negative publicity regarding Jones, including the publication of the Business Insider piece entitled "Who's Afraid of Stephanie Jones?" See Katie Warren and Jack Newsham, Who's Afraid of Stephanie Jones, Business Insider, blah, blah. They have the link. The Business Insider piece shed more light on the real Jones, always a volatile personality. Jones had become noticeably more paranoid, erratic, and cruel in recent years. The Business Insider story also shed light on the toxic workplace Jones had fostered at Jones Work. At the office, Jones would regularly turn on deafening music so that she could berate her employees free from scrutiny. "I don't think there was one day in the office that someone wasn't crying," said a former employee. Jones also pried into her employees' private lives without invitation. When employees called in sick, Jones would FaceTime them to confirm they were actually sick. In at least one instance, an employee who had taken a personal day to attend a funeral received a FaceTime call from Jones during the ceremony. Jones was apparently suspicious of his whereabouts. That's crazy. That's crazy and effed up. That's insane. If my boss did that, I instantly would quit. That's crazy. Unsurprisingly, turnover rates at Jones' work were extraordinary. The departures included not only junior employees, who often left after less than a year, but also senior executives who managed client accounts. Jones solemnly allowed them to go amicably, often enlisting attorneys to threaten and intimidate them into agreeing not to disparage Jones. In April 2023, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson dropped Jones' work after clashes between Jones and Johnson's team. Jones' work had handled Johnson's personal PR as well as that of his production company, tequila brand, clothing company, and business partner, Danny Garcia. This was a big loss for Jones and one that she kept under wraps from media in order to leverage opportunities for other clients. The same year, Jones was also dropped by Bezos, Sanchez, Lainey Wilson, Chris Hemsworth, Wheels Up, Ocean Spray, and Partake Foods. Through it all, Jennifer Abel remained loyal to Jones, sticking with her through thick and thin despite growing doubts about Jones' ability to function professionally. Jones had become increasingly hostile towards Abel, criticizing Abel's management, displaying paranoia about her close relationship with clients and partners, going out of her way to reprehend, demean, and embarrass Abel in front of junior employees she oversaw. Over time, Abel became convinced that Jones was in a downward spiral. Over time, Abel became convinced that Jones was in a downward spiral and harbored serious concerns about Jones's mental health. Jones had become increasingly erratic, calling and FaceTiming Abel at all hours of the night in a frenzied state, overtly pitting employees against each other and attempting to catch them in perceived acts of disloyalty. Jones had always been volatile, but her behavior had become downright and deranged. Often Abel was on the receiving end of her outbursts. For instance, Jones informed Abel's charges that she had learned through psychic readings that Abel was an alcoholic and a gambling addict. Neither has any bias in fact. While Jones presumably intended to undermine Abel's credibility, she had actually undermined her own and raised significant concern among the Jonesworks staff about her mental stability. Jones also announced, per her psychic, that Abel would soon be pregnant with twins, humiliating and infuriating Abel, who Jones knew had struggled with fertility issues. Already pushed to the brink, Abel finally had enough when Jones demanded she corroborate falsified accusations about a senior Joneswork employee in an effort to drive him out. When Abel refused to get along, Jones responded with mockery, calling her a 12-year-old drama queen. On July 10, 2024, Abel notified Jones of her departure from Joneswork and intention to start her own business. Abel offered a 6-week transition period with an end date of August 23, 2024. Predictably, Jones took the news poorly, to say the least. Consistent with her increasingly erratic behavior, Jones swung from the extreme to extreme. One minute desperately attempting to convince Abel to stay, and the next berating her and cutting her out. So we have the text. We have a text from Steph to Jen. You just quit on a Zoom call with your employee, Jen. Then blasted our senior team with your resignation. Grow up. Jen says, I've been nothing but a good partner and helped you grow LA from 4 people to 13. I'm proud of that. I don't want this to be hostile. Steph says, I'm not the one creating hostility or drama. You have and continue to do so. No one senior behaves like this. It's something dramatic and immature, sad. I have been equally good to you. No one else would do for you what I have done. You'll see. Your behavior is appalling. You'll see. Jen says, and I thank you for everything you have done and the many opportunities. So Stephanie's husband, Jason, texts Jen's fiance after the recognition. He says, we can't let another great duo break up. Someone and someone was one thing, but our girls are better together. That's crazy. While Abel was resolute about leaving, she had every intention of doing so amicably, a sentiment she repeatedly conveyed to Jones. So then we have, I guess, her resignation. With that, I'm gonna end it there. I think her resignation is coming up, so stay tuned for that. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and comment down below. If you didn't, feel free to leave a hate comment. I'd love to hear your opinion, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.